Sanbonani, hola, and hello in every single language. Welcome to the first episode of Bonfire Tales.
Yo.
So this is an international platform, proudly Swazi, proudly African, where we bring back the flair into the new digital space. Speaking about stories that our old grandmothers, grandfathers, uncles and aunts used to tell us. Real stories, myths, and most importantly, fun. My name is Shayla, and I have a whole bunch of beautiful co-hosts next to me. I will allow them to introduce themselves, starting from my left.
Kanye Sombata.
Hi, I'm Owe.
I am Gwanele.
They call me Space.
Yeah.
Mlungisi.
El Croco.
El
Croco.
It's fine.
Yes.
Oh yeah, they call me El Croco, yes.
El Croco.
Yeah.
Why?
You know what it is.
I feel you, man. I feel you. Don't get in here.
You're running with it, El Croco.
That's for El Croco. So do you like endorse Crocs or?
Explain.
Well,
I'm
explain.
Mlungisi Ngwenya, by the way.
Oh,
yeah,
wait.
yeah.
Crocodile.
For those of you who don't know, that's a
Crocodile.
crocodile.
Alligator.
Yes.
No, Alligator. I'm Spanish.
Spanish. Yes. So we have Sbane and El Croco on my right. So the first episode is about tinganekwane. And I'll ask Sbane, just unpack tinganekwane. What is tinganekwane? Because I'm sure some people out here don't understand that word.
Okay, tinganekwane, it was those stories masakula sikhule nato bogogo basicocela nje. Like let's say it's after school sesibile ekhaya senda umsebenzi wethu ntambama sesendlini sibasa umlilo kumakhata and sonke sesihlela lapha sibuke gogo already le story.
Yes.
Khona le vibe khona lapha edladleni.
It was very warm around the fire.
That's why we have the bonfire.
Yeah.
To kind of bring back the experience about Coco, because you generation.
Yeah, this TikTok generation you guys be living in ain't no time for stories. We just out here coveting people's lives. I think before we even go into Bonfire Tales and speak of, our what our folks used to speak, I mean the stories our grandmothers used to tell us, I think it's important to just, how do you guys feel? I mean, I'm young, okay, but I'm slightly older than the people with me. So, how do you guys feel? I just want to get like your take on your generation, being a part of it. Like, how do you, how are you feeling? Like, you live in an exponential world, is what I'm gonna say. Because if you think back to 1980 things were developing. Before 1980, things were developing every 5 years, every 10 years. And then 1990 happened. And 1990, I think, was the last space where things happened. Like one phone would come, like a TV would come, and we'd spend 5 years with black TV. Then it's color TV for another 5 years. Then it was the first phone, polyphonic ringtone phones. And then we had polyphonic for like 2 years. And then it was, your first color phone. And then now phones get released every day. Like that's what I'm saying. Like it's so exponential. We are no more in an industrial phase. We are in the technological era. So how do you guys feel? I mean, billions. You guys are looking into billions of followers, not millions. Billions. And yeah, unpack that. Let's unpack that.
Oh, okay. As our generation, what I can say is we are completely consumed by Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, you name them.
Instagram.
And we are two-faced.
True.
Yeah, we are
Yes.
two-faced.
True. There's
So,
this life,
In
internet.
the society, we are like this. And we are actually like this.
Yeah. Do you ever find yourself having to, you're caught between actually living in the moment and reporting the moment in the best possible way? Does that make sense? 'Cause like,
all the time, yes.
you're at an event that you're probably there for the first time, and as opposed to enjoying and soaking it in, how can I best relay this on Instagram is what you're worried about.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
yeah.
You know what I realized was now when we had an internet shutdown.
Yay.
And
Yeah.
what am I supposed to do?
A lot of people did have lives.
Because I'm supposed to be updating. There's a protest. There's soldiers outside. I can't tell people hi. It never happened if I don't have evidence.
And in our families, see the fellowship.
Exactly.
Like everyone is watching Generations, but Generation is watching us.
You went.
Busy with our phones.
You don't even know what happened in that 30 minutes.
We don't know each other exactly.
Yeah.
It's just that ngilala naye ngishayishana camera or something, but asatan. But even the status is it. Like that's where we communicate. I always see most people they express their feelings
On your status. Exactly.
Not exactly. I also disagree.
Okay, what's your view? Yeah, and this is, I think, why we have such a platform.
so it's okay.
Is to be able to see different views because we're not the same. So that's one view. I'm interested to hear.
Like I can post the complete opposite of what's happening in my life.
Yeah.
I can actually post that I'm single while I'm actually
You have a nigga.
having my boyfriend next to me.
Exactly.
Like I can post that I'm in Dubai and I'm like right here.
Exactly.
Ngicabanga ukuthi we're just trying to get the element ukuthi let's say if you post ukuthi you're single kani you actually have your boyfriend next to you.
A new one.
Basically you're speaking to someone.
Yeah, I'm speaking to that guy that I'm flirting with.
Exactly. So that is why we're saying you are communicating with us using your status.
Most people they post their boyfriends and girlfriends. Some people they are so obsessed with relationships, especially the 2K generation.
Yeah.
They are
But I heard as they
so
say.
obsessed. Okay, so
But
obsessed
I
about
heard
social media.
But I feel like even dating now is very meaningless.
Yeah.
And that's my view. You guys can correct me if you want. But I mean, okay, I'll tell my first story. Tinganekwane, which is not actually because I was not part of Edladleni somewhat growing up, but one thing I will relay is I remember a lady once told actually we were watching there was this famous thing, Blood and Water on Netflix.
Yeah.
Trended, right?
Yeah.
So there's a scene where he used to be Archie on Generations.
Yeah.
Forget his name, forgive me. He has a scene with his son and his girlfriend are basically having an argument, but they're not talking, and he's on the phone and he's sending her messages through the phone and she's not responding. So he's frustrated, he's sitting in the house and the father comes to him and he's like, why do you look so down? Like you look like you're dying. And he says, I've been texting her, I've been trying to call her, she's not answering. He's like, this generation of today, you guys perplex me. Because you think dating is this is the material thing. Get up off the chair and go to the girl's house. Knock on the door and ask to speak to her. With us it's like if you're not responding, it's fine. We'll be on WhatsApp. I'll just go onto Tinder and swipe left, swipe right. I'll go onto Facebook, chat to so and so. I'll go onto Instagram, like so and so's picture. So I feel like with this generation we have so many options. That's the problem.
Yeah.
You have even when you're with someone you're not satisfied. I'm sitting next to you, as you say, you're sitting next to your man, but you're out there looking at Dali Wonga, like, I want me some Dali, So it's always like, the minute there's a problem here, you think if my phone doesn't solve the issue, then the issue can't be solved. And yet, your phone was just there to be a middleman, And so this lady was like, back in the day, there was no phones. Imagine the era of letters. You had to write a letter or send a telegram and wait for 3 weeks or 2 weeks for that person to respond. You understand?
It teaches you patience.
It was, it teaches you patience, it taught perseverance, and it taught appreciation.
And the
because you
sound mind.
worked for what you wanted. If a man saw a woman, he would not hesitate to walk up to her because I never know when I will see her again.
Exactly.
Someone now, short aguti ba Shazam it.
Yeah.
We're there now. Like I think we're moving to an era where we can Shazam each other. Like so I can check your, and that's guys, I just came with the business plan, do not steal it. I actually want to create that. So, see Bambi profile thing. Comes your name. I find you on Instagram, find you on Twitter. Put their logo because we even in a club or a setting, before when we were allowed, before COVID, someone would be like, "Can I have your number?" I'm like, "No, take my name, find me on Facebook." So it's very much we've moved, and she was just like, the feeling is not there because it's like I know I can replace X, Y with Z and B.
And you're so much fake nje like nje
Tell me about it.
nje like even noma uchatha nemuntu if ngipropose kulo muntu ngiyakaguhli ngiyawubuka nice ways
Yes. Copy and paste.
copy and paste ngamsendela and then like
uthi mase umeet of real life siplease ngizile ukubhalela
and
English though,
opposite
It's
Yeah,
more like the
opposite
birthday
of-
messages
Okay,
that you
legit.
get. You'll be receiving message and be like, "Aye, man, this is the same. This is the same.
Right?
Like this is the
Yeah.
same."
Okay.
Even the people will see on Facebook and the people will meet Matota. Umbu aqhamuke ube bathe filter. Hi guys, but you cannot come to me unge filter vele uqhamuka unguwenze and I'm like, okay, it feels like I've been catfished just mbamba.
but it's more
Yay.
but it's more on the ladies
Oh,
like
that's
mbam.
debatable.
Okay.
I can say
Alright.
most of the time.
Most of the time
Shay
it's more
Star.
ladies
Chase down. Okay, you
Yes.
said we always have substitute la emafonini. But there's this one thing called go catcher.
Ukhetha.
I don't think I've been there. Yeah. Okay, but
mfana bamplomolako nje nyalo
like babe don't forget
In front of the whole world.
okay, yeah. So yabona lemvo yindika ungayigadi yabona this thing
Yeah.
catch.
Elide.
Yabo. So you can
cannot buy
Ukhetha phela.
catch. Lokuthi okay
Catch
fine.
feelings.
Yeah, kuwe ngithi I know. Ngiyendlula yabo. Emva
Mission
kwalo.
pass. Mission pass.
Yabo ngivi akusasuke. Yabo. Lemvo into kungayigadi. So
Ushanga kuloyi.
no.
Ngoma naloko khona ekhanda.
Akusiko kulo.
No, but I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying.
So mawuthi wena okay no. Uyangiziba yabona. Sengida kusibani. Angeke.
Must say catch
Yeah,
it
when you
Catchile,
caught,
catchile.
yeah, catchile.
But now head.
No, but you know what I love what you're saying, and I think what from what you're saying, what it draws me to something that I wanted to say. For me, the essence of this topic is it's very important to make sure that your real world
Yes.
is more amazing than your virtual world.
Yeah.
Even if that costs you followers, you need to be okay with that. Even if you have only 50 followers because your life is too real for people to be obsessed, that's fine. But as long as, because like you say, they cut off internet for 7 days, right?
That is
So many people realized that they had no lives
Yeah.
at all. Like their physical life was unbearable. The people they live in a house with, they cannot stand. You know, because it automatically took away your Netflix. It wasn't even just the social networks that we have. It was even
It was bad.
being able to watch things, because like you say, now everyone watches what they want to watch. I'm on my phone, I'm watching Netflix, you're watching Showmax, you're watching YouTube, you're watching TikTok, you know, it's endless. So I feel like it's important, and that's why we have Bonfire Tales, I think, to be real, to be authentic in what we do. And if they ain't be catching the feelings, it's cool. But we are catching the feelings and the vibes within the present, which is now. Right, so I think we're going to start with our first tale. Yes, awusicocele ke sisi.
okay
Sibani siqala ngawe.
Sedladeni la.
Dadeni la.
Be our gogo.
the thing is
Yes.
angeke kube authentic nje yakho ke gogo maka
Yeah.
story
Gogo
because uhlelo sozele so
Unale element yagogo.
Sinemanqobo. Sinemanqobo yeah.
Sena nje ama-popcorn.
With plastics,
Yeah.
even the mafohlozos.
Senifuna ama lunch pan
The
nini.
sunlight here, so Tiba mnanzi makumnyama ebusuku.
Tinganekwane desebusuku vele emini ufaka luthi la nhlobo. Ngoba we're gonna grow horns or something. We'll grow horns
right now because we're busy. You see, that's already tinganekwane. Basha ukuthi will grow horns for telling stories in that. Bebafuna ukuthi sebenze. Lilanga angeke. You have to be working.
You can't
get
be
water,
around and
pick up wood, cook, clean,
everything.
do your chores.
Okay, wait.
That's why they used to tell us.
Usebenze ekhaya kaphela.
Yeah, whatever.
Usebenze ekhaya kaphela.
So taking us to next week's session. Superstitions.
Exactly.
Yes, taking us to next week's session.
That's next week's episode.
Okay, so like bengibuka cuz kunencwadi bekhona. Dikhona leti authentic leti ngekho la kike kule book ya bekhona. So mangibuka le ncwadi I'm like hayi man yathi soda ngisathi. Iphuma igama lapho bathi Kanti kuplo Swaziland.
Which Swaziland is this?
Hi man. Anyways, so bekunale story sa Thangalembiba.
Okay.
It's a girl. Bekahlala ekhaya and bekatlungele. But the issue is bekasebenza ebusuku kuphela emini angendeli. Ngiyanixoxela phela.
Phela kwasuka suka.
Bathi bekhona.
Kalela phansi. Wasuka suka.
Okay, ngidostala le story. Mine mhla ngena singisi so. Okay.
We're actually trying to find our tail again. Okay. I think that's what this
That's
is
the
about.
whole point.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're finding the tails again.
Ngicela ngithi bekhona.
Yeah.
Bekhona.
No, kwasuka
Wasuka suka.
Goli.
Bekhona.
Ahlanga esikozwane ngozemnye
Okay, bekunemfumbatana egama layo bengithangalembiba. Ehlala nabadala baye ekhaya. So, bebane rule ekhaya ukuthi inthangalembiba angasebenzi emini, abasebenta ebusuku kuphela. And then what inthangalembiba masayo
It's which no, lesiswati kusetshenzwa emini osebenza ebusuku umthakazi. Which place? Bamfuza umthakazi umana mncane.
Ma is yet wathi inthangalembiba maseke ayowenza. Bamkhutha abadala bakhe bathi inthangalembiba. So yasuka ke la kithi. Bathi mfana wami ungaqali sebenze emini. Usebenza ebusuku kuphela. Wasebenza emini dokufa. Kuphela phoki. So makahamba inthangalembiba so wenzile makafika lemangweni inthangalembiba batshela ukuthi yena akasebenza emini sebenza ebusuku. Bathi bamfu ha usiphethe inthangalembiba. Usitshela ukuthi yena uwenzile la ungibagoda udesitshela ukuthi ngosebenza emini. Hayibo usebenza
ufuna ukuvuka nga5 pheka inkwane.
hawu inthangalembiba yena nga5 yayike la kusebenza. Ewo okay imvatha yakhe nganyela ngayathi inthangalembiba ngijwayela kahle.
Okay.
Ngijwayela wamtshela mina wathi mina ngomile nyalo ngifuna yonkhela amande emfuleni kusamini wathi Thangalembiba angisebenze emini wathi emvatha ngifuna amande mina nyalo ngomile wahamba Thangalembiba waya emfuleni wathi okay no ngiyadithi batali bathe ngabo sebenza emini ntoshona but hayi incinci nje bebangiyenga wahamba mawafika lemfuleni nele bhakade lakhe wathi makakha so aw
hamba ngale mfundo.
la hamba libhakede wavela wawela phansi Thangalembiba waphela ngaye lapho imvotha yakhe ithukuthele lapho Thangalembiba ngimsenda kadzeni naphela awulecala solo akabuyi lesibili solo akabuyi hawu wathukuthele wathatha imvuku yakhe wahamba emfuleni wambona ukhanzelele lapho instead ukuthi amvuse awu wambethe angithakade ukuthi yena kwatile lapho uthukuthela wambethe wathi hayibo Thangalembiba ngakashaya ngavuki into njani siphala lapho isitory saNthangalembiba washona kanjalo imvotha yakhe
mshaye
Scary story.
like let the term name ngibuka lapha like guys this is traumatizing.
So what I'm getting is ngathi katheni beba promote I gender based violence because kulula nje ukuthi angishaye
Hey, nekuthi angicheck ekuqala.
nekuthi angicheck ukuthi honey are you okay how
Where was the love?
Kumele every pulse.
Cause vele wavela
baby are you okay
There was no baby there.
Yeah.
no baba mfana kethu kuhamba njani make
Oh, ngebani
Akathi nawusoma awufana nyalo. Why love you? Wabe sigege la gege ntombi sami gege.
Zoom intombi yakho
Manje ukuthi lo muntu ubuya kokhemandi.
Siyemfuleni siyabakatha sine setting khomeni like basemfuleni bokhemandi so siyabakatha. Yabona ufike ngithi keke lakhe ke ntombi zamgedela.
You don't have a choice. Line ifuna uyekhaya ekhaya.
That is why it was a catch up for most polygamy.
Manje ngidawugana labangaki phela ngoba namhlanje
Utawugana bonke uziyofika.
No, there was like this level of respect. Bekwatiwa nje
but
ukuthi
one-
even said
apparently also
noma
if you
kanjani
give you-
owe wasethi kuyatiwa nje vele lapha.
Gcebesha.
Yes.
Now wakhe ukhokha gcebesha lakhe.
Yes.
Shothi
Sengifika
ngiyajola.
negqibesha liyangibika vele
Phela
ukuthi
sayavele ubatshelile.
Yakazulu
Yebo.
sekhona lo kulamatshitshi the pure ones. Sekhona. Yamnika
And bekunemqwasho. So
It was for virginity.
virgin.
Yes, to promote virginity. Wangagqoki siyabuka sideways.
Yeah. And
Abantu
walimala.
bayigqokishe nabantu fanele bayi-2. Wow.
manje ngidawukhipha ngibani lomqasho ngidawudecide manje umqasho yini kahle like
It
kuyini
used to be for
manje ngidamkhishwa ngibani lotewade ukuthi mina ngisasiyo nyalo
Phela
Abantu
bayakhala
abadala
bahlola bogogo.
Okay, kaso.
Yabona nje kaZulu like
Bakuhlola.
we are pure virgins mama nje emhlangene like bakuhlola la.
Baqale banangizane ukuba
guys,
certificate.
you can pay
Nakangwane.
Kuba
Yawo
nelihlobo.
badalela
Oh,
bogogo.
Ake nje tshwala. You can give them a straight.
Nabogogo laba bona seso sina 2 weeks. Basebadala ngatshwala never. Those grannies.
Yeah, okay, lokho emqasho ke vele be serious katheni. Osisibam nje. Bebakuhamba. So mangabe mhlambe one of them so khulelwe. Bavele bathathe bahambe baye ekhaya kubo. Bafike babekele lemfondo imicwasho endlini kagogo. Bathi bafuna inkomo. Yabo. Abajiki bangakhonjwa lenkomo.
Yo, nangabe kudede inkomo la khaya.
Noma yini baphula inkukhu
I think before it was our currency, you know, it was a thing of like
Besandi butter
the
trade.
good family led.
Yeah.
And I think that's another thing that we've lost, hey, within our traditional space is ownership of our natural resource. I think in Africa we've moved to a processed world where we don't need to. Literally all of us here, your house, you can crop everything. You know, we could survive, and if you have a cow, that's money. People don't realize that is an asset, it's an investment.
And
you
they
buy it
appreciate
at
it,
half the price. When you sell it, it's double.
Yeah.
But the main, so I think now, vele, some of us sakule town, kule manzini, awati ukuthi at some point your family had to have cows.
Yeah, thina salimala man cause thina nje ngabe sihlala masangweni sinabafana ngabe siya lectureisha ukuthi okay utamtshela ukuthi uyangifaka noma uyangikhipha makathi uyakufaka wangifaka enhlokweni yakho makathi uyakhipha wakhipha enhloko
Either way.
But guys, those times were really fun. Mina ngiyafisa ngathi ngabe ngaphila khona. Hayi mina
hayi nani
Guys, wait, imagine this ne. Wahamba uyemfuleni yokhe manje. Uyemfuleni yokhe manje. Wait. Yokhe manje. Listen, yokhe manje emfuleni ne. And then now the guy Seniyajola nalo muntu and then he's coming and then la manje ayaflow ane abangumsibo wemandi. And then there's the beds ne. And then it's a whole romantic scene. Seniyathi ethi amadvaleni.
Bathi wamnyanyisa uyakushaya.
uqhumseka lo mfula lothimbu
Phela ute lungelo kathe nje umfati ngumfati like
umfati bekungumfana.
like usebenza.
Yes, labo bebe bathi bantu bami nalomfati ulakhathi. Everyone's
Yeah.
But
Like nje beba
lemveleyo ke
respect.
at some point they do still say it nanyalo. Maw vele imvote mayibala abantu bayaqala ngemfati wakho because umfati wakho exactly it's your duty to protector.
Fane kutala umfana nje vele.
So vele ngumphanga uyamprotect.
Very true, but I feel like we forget that as much as he counts the wife, the nurturer, the caregiver is the mother.
Yeah.
She is the one. I could say as a wife, my husband is my firstborn. It's supposed to be interchangeably. I am not your tail. We are meant to be side by side. We will
Yeah,
never
that
be
is
the
true.
same. A man must provide. The Bible says, but it also says, the Bible says submit to your husband, okay, as a believer. But it says, husband, love your wife.
Yeah.
You see, the word love encompasses everything.
Yeah.
Love means trust.
Yeah.
It means faithfulness. It means nurture.
just
It means
package.
care. Iphelele.
Yeah, it's a package.
Yabo. So it's
You're preaching.
it's holistic. So for me, I feel like, the whole. I mean, what I loved about back in the day, and I think I resonate with your feelings, is how the courtship was beautiful.
Yeah.
Like it was thoughtful. It was Nyalanje, I like you, and will you date me? Or come Netflix and chill, my nigga. You think this era is better than that? No. There are pros and cons, I think, to each era. For me, the pro of that time that time was the effort, the genuineness. Like people planned. These days, guys pass a million flowers. They won't even bother picking one for you. So, which is better? Yes, you're accessible, but and I feel like with gender-based violence, coming to your point that okay, that's probably why you are saying I wouldn't want to. What's changed? Because if you look at this era now, people are still beating each other up. If anything, I think we're more unhappier in the space we live in now, but. Like I don't know. There's a catch-22. I guess the laws are different, which makes it better for us as women.
Social media.
Katseni na umfati, I mean your husband nakakushaya. Bongakhona ukubuyela ekhabo the husband uyobatshela ukuthi uyangishaya, because they would always say beketela emendweni kuyashisa indvodza ungayibuti yabo. What else nyalo sebayasho ukuthi no sisi utawufa hamba like. And yeah.
And okay, lokunye okay, if sinamaphoyisa siyakhona kubika. Katseni bekuthiwa hayi dividend.
Yes.
Awubiki. Beketela. Okay. Beba ngakhona ukubele ekhaya kubo. Kuyobika, yabo. Kanti nyalo, okay fine kona lendishi iyabulawa ukuthi awubele ekhayini. But still bayabuyela. And ke babuyelisa ukuthi lokunye kwawo lendisu customer nje yabo. Okay, ngiyabekisa kangonya la ekhaya kithi. Angimandi kuthatha umfati wakamzomba lapha ngiyabekisa. Yabo, so
Okay.
Futane yabo good futane yabo. So ngisho ngabe kuthiwa abamanyela kusakhaya kuba awubika ngeka mind kuwalker so ku distance yabo.
No nyalo sesimoto uyangishaya nje ngene emotweni yami ngiyakushiya.
nalokuthi
sekulula
sebafunzile yabona. Kanti katseni lena ngikubuka mina there was this question ukuthi noma ungabele ekhaya utophila ngani yabona, because le tinkomo everything ona nglen vote yabona. So vele kumele ubeketele and for the sake of labanvana yabona. Kanyalo kulula ukuthi no we can divide 50-50. Yeah, 50-50 ngithatha abanvana ngiyahamba futhi.
Injinjile le game, because even in our time, I mean now siyasebenza.
Yeah.
Actually, women's pay grades are getting higher and higher every year to the point where there's a lot of homes where the woman is actually the breadwinner financially, but the man lives under her rule. So, I feel like I'm happier that the laws are, supportive of women to alleviate. Gender-based violence is wrong, 100%. I don't think any sort of violence is condoned. But I want to bring you guys to this attention, and I want to hear your view. Yes, okay, we deviated from thinking we're going to come back. But anyway. Your view on the sense that, it's almost loud for women. One day, I sat in the shoe of a man and I wondered how it must be to be an abused man. Because I don't deny that it happens every day. There's no statistics on it because not enough men disclose it. And I think that's a big topic right now for gender-based violence. Even starting with kids. You see, as a girl child, I'm taught to protect myself. As a boy child, you're taught to be all the way out there and give yourself, which I think is very wrong. Boys should also be taught that they're as special and as important as girls, and your private part should be protected. So when we get to your adolescent age, you're 12, you're 13, 14, right? A boy, if an older woman comes and starts to, you know, because we all get crushes, we're kids, we watch TV, we see things, right? So it is the duty of the older person to act wise. If a child has a crush, to not act on that crush, because you're basically taking advantage of a vulnerable situation, because that kid, ubona Cinderella, ubona bo, you know, and this is what you want, right? So let's talk about that. You know, with a boy, it's like if an older lady does her advance at you, it's praised. Your boyfriends praise you, like you got with that. So with us, it's like lumkulu, you know, like you should save yourself for marriage. But my thing is, save ourselves for marriage for who? Because we're saving ourselves for people who splurge until they must come back. With all of that trauma, all of that baggage, all of the women you've laid with, those are spiritual ties. You know, you don't forget. And you remember Anna was better than Lisa. Lisa was better than who? She jiggled her bums more. This one, you know? So, like, you know, it becomes a thing of a societal, for me, there's a very big imbalance with a boy child. You know, it just, they say boy children are more likely to be raped or molested than girls. True. But boy children never speak about it. Because you understand, boys are, even when you're taken away, you go to other men, you do, you know, all those things that boys do. A lot of stuff happens there that boys never speak about, you know. So what are your views on that?
I feel like it's something, growing up, you'll have siblings. There's the girls and then there's the boys. It's in the ways that you guys are treated. When you're a girl and something's wrong, your parents ask you what's wrong and you talk about your feelings. When it's a guy, you're expected, keep them to yourself.
To be strong.
To be strong.
I
don't understand. Yeah, but I don't understand
biggest
why.
lie
And
in
that's
the
wrong.
world.
Yeah, that's wrong.
Like, they
We are
make
all
feelings-
supposed to cry. Why did God give men tear ducts?
Exactly.
And that is
Who
why,
did put a God?
and that is why women live longer than men.
Yeah.
Because
Because
we keep things
we are
within
beautiful.
ourselves, and we are everything.
Whoa,
Men nje
shots
labadzala
fired
abanemindeni, they are
there.
always stressed. Like you
Yeah.
can't ukuthi so nje isikhathi nje lesina ngihlala cabanga and then we die early. Especially laSwatini nje
Yo.
labanengi bethe bobabe.
Yeah, you live with it.
Yeah, and we live.
Yeah,
with it.
yeah, kwamele sikhale, but imathi iphuma.
No, I think that's also like it's.
And
I mean, there's
like
therapy for that. There's
Good
therapy,
cool.
and I think that's also another thing that our society is
Yeah,
against or
And
not
good
yet
cool,
accustomed to
Ndiyaphuma ngiyathela.
is having therapy.
Ndiyaphuma.
No,
Let it out. I
Ngitsinga
scream if
ngitsinga
I
nje
have
isikhathi
to.
mbamba kahle.
Yeah.
Ngibe ngedva.
and let it
Diphume nje
out.
mbamba.
Location.
Diphume nje.
Yabona
Location.
Ungathi sisho utsula futhi. Diphume nje.
Yeah, and let it
Exactly.
flow.
Flow.
And I've got a question. I've got a question for you.
Okay.
Ungakhala sebakwale.
Ngiyakhala.
Okay,
You see
wait.
the reaction.
Anyway.
Somebody give this man a
Wait,
Okay, listen.
Like nyakhala. I did it before. Like I did it before. Nyakhala.
I believe
You
for,
should
for
cry.
you to get past something.
Yeah,
You need to
first
let it
acknowledge
out.
exactly.
Yes.
Acknowledge what has happened.
Yeah.
But
Somebody, this man needs to speak on a podium today.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait, I wanna. You realize how we all reacted when Magati Nyakala.
You see?
That's why they're never gonna
That's
say.
how
They're never gonna
abnormal
say
it is. No, but it shouldn't be. The thing is, the more I love what he's doing, because the only way to make change is for somebody to start making the change.
Yeah.
I have a friend, and he's a guy, and he's like, I'm an emotional guy. I spent years of my life trying to hide that God made me like this. I feel things. When I see someone suffering, I want to cry. But I couldn't understand. I had to, you know, take things and so that I could hide this thing that deep down I feel. I actually feel. So I think, you know, fun facts, I'll tell you guys. Tears have different chemicals. Your different hormones come out through your tears depending on your emotions. Do you understand how deep that is?
that is true.
That means that your tears are necessary even for your body health. Okay, 1. 2, for me, it takes more courage to be genuine and hurt in front of people than it is to pretend you're okay. A seriously strong person is someone who's not afraid to say, I'm hurt right now. That's strong, because even if people don't care or counteract to you, you have to be ready for whatever they do, you know. So I feel like it's it's something that needs to happen more in society. Boy children need to be taught from a young age it's okay. Because if you're taught at 2 not to cry, you'll never use your tear duct. Vele. Because it's so embedded in you, you know. Whereas at the end of the day, that's what creates violence. Because that's the outlet. Immediately.
That is why
they are taught the outlet to beat each other up as boys. That's how we solve issues. You know, it would be nice to see 2 men say, I'm sorry too, friend. Have a tear, wipe your tear, pop out, go. But that looks abnormal here. It's like in the world we live in, it's like, those guys are
need culture change. Nanokuthi vele le society seyishintshile yabona the issues of homosexuality yabona. So banako lokuthi I should be careful of this person.
Yes, you're scared to even now. I think guys are even more scared to be emotional because it's like people would be like, he's gay. Yeah, which is very wrong because I feel like I don't know. Like I think we need to make the strides, and it's gonna take more. I think more platforms like this where we talk about these things and are real about them. That's really gonna affect the change. And one guy being real with the other.
Okay, but ngale attitude yalokhala yabona ukuthi what attitude do you have, because as a man noma ngathi uyakhala maybe something, but you should have a way forward yabona. Ungakhala nje ukuthi yabona it's over like it's
just a
over.
release.
As soon as uqeda ukukhala
you can't explain it.
Kune relief. There's just relief.
I get you.
And that will give the way forward.
You know when your throat is heavy.
I cry every day. Okay, mina nokuthi like nangafesa lelanga so like literally ngakhala ngaflow nje like
nakhala ke nabakwalile
ngiyangithe experience yalokwana maybe if someone
there's even happy tears. It doesn't always have to be sad. There's even happy tears. Like if something like really excites you or really overwhelms you, you cry. Like at a wedding, at the first time you see your baby boy or baby girl. You know, there are moments that are just overwhelming that will bring you to tears. But it's like, the first time you see your sister after 5 years, they've been studying in Russia. Maybe there was in Haiti, there was a whole tsunami. That person came back alive. You know, I feel like suppressing feelings. I'm not saying people who don't cry don't feel. Don't get me wrong. I think we're built differently, but I do feel that vis-a-vis, there's a lot of people who are taught to suppress. It's not who they really are emotionally, because some people don't have emotional presence at all. They're not even sure how to unpack their own emotions.
But you couldn't nekhombisa khala ngishaya indlela.
Okay.
Okay, angikhumbuli kahle yabona. Okay.
Let's just get the
kwasukela. Bekhona.
Yes.
We're gonna learn that one.
Yeah. Okay, bekunalomfana lo. If I remember very well, alusa leti ngoma yabona. And then kwabana leti gebengu. So leti gebengu attacker leti ngoma yabona, and then bayibulale ngoma lo mshaya indlela yabona. Kanti lo mshaya indlela bekamthanza kakhulu lo mfana, you understand?
Yes.
So lo mfana like sebambulele sokhanza kusivele lo mshaya indlela sofile, you understand? And then like vele soyakhala like sothi vuka mshaya indlela abasela mshaya akwebile mshaya indlela awudlile mshaya indlela, and then he collected the bonds nalesikhumbe yabona, and he kept on repeating that thing, and then ke mshaya indlela wasuyavuka yabona.
Okay, I think they're trying to say that I don't know. He was hurt.
Yeah.
He was really hurt. And then wakhala, he let it out, and then Timfotalunga in a way. I think that's what they were trying to say.
But why boni way forward? Sekuthi nje I spiritual way forward. Automatic after sebade yonke nyama, and then but nje kwendeka ke Ezekiel yabona ukuthi
Exactly.
Professor on the phones Ezekiel, and then yeah, apparently, yeah. So, the attitude in terms of local after the relief, like vele lokungena emathotsi like lokhala ukuthi now khalile bese ngathi bese ubabetele way forward yabona. But as a man, like le comes sifunza ukuthi vele emathotsa kukhona lapho khona kudzingeka empathic listening yabona
Yes.
ungadzingi ukuthi especially for counseling utikhulula ukhale but ungadzingi somfo agrespond yabona sekuthi us males vele the percentage lenkulu ithi nangafika nje mina ngikutshele ukuthi like bangalile ngidova ngathi ekusay there are many fishes in the sea mfethu why ukhayela umfumbatana lona yabona but lo mfuna lo mlahlukene nayo yani
Exactly. I want that person not fish.
lokukhetha ngikhuluma
Yes, masayikhethe kahle you told your friends angifuni fish mina ngifuna umfana.
Ngilesson ba sin advisor every day nibuya ni complain emva lokho sen yabo
like men are problem solvers like sifuna ukukusotha so ngiva ngathi lokwenda ngathi le attitude ingene ukuthi like win votes ababe you need to get up yabona uhambe yabona and make a plan like kanzi ukuthi useva lobhlungu yabona but kulobhlungu usacaba ukuthi
Which is wrong because you don't
I
get
need a
to
way forward.
heal. Awuhilishi.
Yes.
You move on to the next person.
And you
You're
are
trying
suppress,
to
yeah,
squash
suppress.
the feeling, exactly, and that's not dealing.
Yeah, that's
And
not
I'll
dealing.
explore that khona nje.
Angifuna
bayi.
ungikhombise
We are high,
ukuthi ungaphila
yeah,
ngaphandle
we are
kwakhe.
high, yeah.
Kanti the truth is yes you can, but you just you learn from. I believe if you haven't learned from your past relationship, you need to be banged on the head by the same situation again, because everything in life is supposed to teach you a lesson.
Yes.
People, you are a bus, right? Okay, this is a life bus. And there are people who will jump on your bus and they're meant to stay there forever. There are people who jump on your life bus and they're just meant to be there for a season. The next bus stop they're supposed to jump off. The problem is we as human beings, we keep people on our bus for too long because we are scared of the unknown. The fear of not knowing what's on that. When I drop this person off, then you maybe Asha's waiting at the next station.
Exactly.
But when you're so adamant on Steve was sportini.
Yabo.
Kani Asha ngeke ngibele. Asha utamens how kwelela basi.
Exactly.
Kani vula le space. Yabo, but I think it's the fear of the unknown. We're scared of the other side. So it's important, as you're saying, it's important to heal, give yourself time to heal. And that's why I said, make sure your physical life is better than your virtual life. So your virtual life, make sure that if you're in a breakup right now, if you are tempted and this stuff is, it's okay to suspend your accounts for a while. Train yourself to like suck the poison out of your own life. Like you say, being able to, first of all, be vigilant. Own up to it. This is how I genuinely feel. Be real with yourself. I think it starts there. Because the minute uyangala when aksasa meaning
So social media.
yes, I'm going out on a date with who? How? A date. Are you sure? You know?
But again ngicela ngisele like okay yabona in terms of relationships ngiva ngathi ilimala la
I think we need our
kuqaleni
own topic for that day. It's like a whole bonfire. That bonfire, I think we need wine.
Yes, we do.
We need some wine.
Kwasukela.
Some whiskeys.
Bekukhona.
I would heard the stories.
Yeah.
Hey.
because ungakhanza ukuthi ufuna lokho ishi but
Ningakhali nje kuphela.
Definitely gonna cry.
I will
No,
cry.
I love next
ngibuka lokuthi mina what was the attitude of the relationship at the beginning
Thank you.
yabo because ukhanza ukuthi miteka social media ka Facebook never ngathi niya connect because maybe ngendi social sites maybe ngendi become now ngendi become saxoxa and then seba ngathi we became friends and then ke yakhetha nje uma khethile yabona but what was my intention ekuqaleni yabona and then nyalo sengiba like mina this is the end of the world sengiyakhala I need to cry I need like ngiva ngathi mina nathi nje ngilokuthi vele i-social media is youth say influence kakhulu ukuthi umitha umuntu ku-social media so ngathi that person can be the best awumati and futhi abanye bagaya social media balane khona la ku-social media yabo and then phinza ukhale lo mba awumati nengimali
Here's a fun fact.
Yeah.
These electronic devices, cell phone, laptops and stuff, they were initially created for us, which song as cards. But when they are the opposite.
Yeah,
We waste time with them.
Exactly.
But the thing is, because the platform is there, it's like human beings. We have this problem, and I think that's why some of us, we float when we die. But that's a story for another day. Is because we are too much of anything is bad for you.
Yeah.
And we always take something God has given. God gave a man that idea. Like, he blessed him with the idea of the internet, to connect us to each other. But we have taken it. Fun fact, again, it took us 10 years for 50 million people to have jumped on a plane. Okay? It took us 5 years for 50 million people to have registered on Facebook. It took us 3 years for 50 million people to have registered on Twitter. It took us 19 days for 15 million people to be registered on Pornhub. Yes.
How many?
Too much.
19 days.
19 days.
Yes.
People are
50
swiping
million.
it.
To have been registered. So, do you get where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
Yes.
What we choose to use the platform for is what has demised us. There are business opportunities. There are innovative ideas. There are systems. There are causes to do for free.
Yeah.
1,000.
Yeah.
You could have had 50 certificates. I know a kid, she's 12, she has 20 certificates. She studied online.
Is it?
Yes. But we're busy Google, TikTok. Someone's laughing, making money out of us.
Instagram.
When are you busy there? Look at someone who's photoshopped herself to smithereens. You understand? So like, I feel like it's a service.
Yeah.
How you use it.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying it's
that's
you can't change the world, but begin with yourself. Begin with your inner circle.
Yeah.
Make sure you know
Be real
your
to
circle
yourself.
exactly.
Yeah, be real.
I hope you didn't register on that PH.
No, my mama was a preacher child.
You know what I realized? I feel like the moment I know we've realized, but acknowledging and accepting that feelings aren't a sign of weakness but of strength.
Yeah.
We'll go far, but I feel like it's something that our parents, because we've realized it, but then when our parents and the older generation is making it so hard
Yeah.
for us to live with our feelings, we're not gonna get very far.
No, stop.
You know what I think? There's a disconnect.
That's the thing,
There's
but
a
then
disconnect. You're
between-
supposed to teach your parents how to understand you, and your parents are supposed to teach you how to understand them, because you do come from different worlds altogether. Your mom does not understand your world. It is your prerogative to spend time, not in a usilima wena ngoba awadi egogo. No, because our approach is also very important. So how you approach the older generation, because they've lost hope with us. What they fought for, if people who fought for freedom could come back, they'd be shocked. They would just be like, hey, keep it as it was, because the way we're living now, it's not at all why they fought. They didn't fight for freedom so that we could believe that life is worth just being a selfie queen. No, there's still so much, there's so much more to life. But I feel like we've just, you want your parents to understand you, understand them. Yeah. We've lost that respect, or there's a disconnect because you feel like I'm being abused by being sent. No, you're not. That is a part of your growth. There's your parents are teaching you responsibility. Yeah. It is your job to do the chores in your home because your mom did the chores in her home. But now we live in a world where I don't do my chores. I want to be on Twitter and Facebook. I want to create a video. So yes, tell your mom, you spend time. This and so makes money by this after doing your chores. Yeah. So you give her the platform. Njalo every day ngenda nag ngiyacela Nkosi ngixohlale nami ngicela ukutshela nag ngikuxoxele ngempilo yami lengufisile lokhukile kuwe, and you'll be surprised that they would be so much open to it, because now they feel like they're playing catch up also. Our parents are playing catch up. They're on Google now. Bayazama uthinga exactly. They don't even have the time.
Yes. I was saying before we end the session, let us go back to Tangalembe.
No, because wait, Mlungisi had another one. Netim. I think we
We are running out of time.
Okay, no,
yes.
I'll just
tell us one more. Tinganekwane.
okay. I said what's together, yes, and then you.
Alright, it's okay.
The process in 1 second.
2 minutes.
Beguna lenye chiefdom, lenye constituency, whatever.
It's not your mother tongue, so it's fine. It's okay.
It's a
It's
second
okay.
language.
So benalomnye chief of nalesinye isilwane ngasifana sana so but sona sikhulu naso nentana so but asisithe just that see ngavlela yes wait no ngama ku paint a picture yabona nokuthi
Yes, you are painting a
how
picture.
huge that animal was as from Ben, yeah. Okay, lo chief bekadinga sikhumba sale ngavlela. So babeta ke umhlangano washo ukuthi okay, lo tangilandzela lesilwane because bemele silandve le ehlathini sibuye siyele emphakathi yabo. Siyobulawa kudingeka lesikhumba sakhona. So kwaba khona umfana volunteer bengasiwa umfana lo
Bekuqhubeka.
okay bengasiwa umfana lo mdzala omncane bekungumfana nje lo average yabo but mambuka ngemehlo ungeke uthi umfana lo strong yabo so lo mfana waba nesibinzi wathatha okay lesitwana sidla timfethi incane bo tinfutfane yabo so phasa kuphe ting 3 tinfala tinfutfane namakululu yabo so wahamba ke wayosihlokoda le ehlathini lesisala khona samgijimisa kwathi phuma ngikavulela yabo so samgijimisa simgijimisa wabaleka waqala walahla tinfutfane yabo saba busy ngaye intfutfane ke yabo yena asatfola isikhathi sekubaleka yabo so asabaleka yena le yesilwane sisibhizi ngekudla lokho usaphumula ndifana umoya mvala uphinde makuphela intfutfane lapha siphinde simcoshe mase fasokhathele athi lidle sinye isigubhu sigubhu samakululu ke manje yabo bebhizi ke lesilwane yena ezidonsa umoya so ekugcineni wathi ngisathi nifala ubona ufala thayine kakhulu I'm sure nonke andithatha lies yes so wabhizi ngato le lies so wagcina afikile ke le empaka so okay when he was about 200 meters away from le mphakathi wamemeta namajaha ukuthi okay ababe ready for ukubulala lesilwane yabo because bekudinga abantu abaningi ukuze ukuthi okay bafika ke lena basibulala lesilwane so lesikhumba vele basebenzisa and lo mfana wathola iprize sengikhohliwe wathola iprize let's see from the chief so kunokuba brave kunokuba courageous yabo lo mfana
aba courageous
angangidawuva ngani ukuthi waba brave noma waba courageous
Hayi currently.
Ndawuva ngani beke
brave
ibrave okay kube kusaba
Bekade.
bengekaphatheli
no kube kusaba beka brave bong bekato sub after at discover ukuthi sikhulu kanganani lesilwane.
He was courageous.
He was courageous
because it was more of a calculated risk.
He knew his end goal.
What option did he have? Because ngeke
Huh?
What
But he knew his end goal.
He planned
Une strategy.
That was courage.
Yeah, that was courage. He knew his end goal.
Because it's a calculated risk.
My question is, I'm not
tough, but he planned to be.
Yeah, he planned. He knew his end goal.
Uphatha makululu,
Uphatha nawo uyathi ukuthi uyakwenda
disputing his plans.
That is courage. Ukuthi ngiyathi ukuthi kutawushuba but ndawenda kanjani.
Because now brave yabo the fear yafika.
Bravery nokuconza lo phethe ikhali. That's bravery.
Yabona le kwasikali.
And about to put ikhali phela brave.
Of which amasotsha vele amasotsha bewa brave aphatha ikhali but adliwa yabo. So that's courage.
He had a strategy.
Okay, now here's one more thing. Okay, inkosi not manisha. Inkosi sobuza.
I like the way you look at me.
Kabang sis.
Inkosi beye UK yabona. Inkosi sobuza bengathandi ku travela. Yabo. So beye sobuza one time be say UK. So ise UK banathalitiya ke. Manje letiyela yashisa wena. Yabo. Manje letiyela yashisa wena kanti lapha vele awu okay kanti lapha wena letiya awuliphuphuthi yabona ngikwasho ukuthi awuphuphuthi yabo mfaka lokho uphethe letiya ke so bathi ngawuthini uthi eish no siyabe kuphela ukuthi in Swaziland it's a very very big river called Usuthu kanjalo Usuthu alipotisa kanjalo
That's a very clever man. Very bekathulula something ukuthi in Swaziland the big rivers they flow.
They flow. That was smart.
That is very smart.
Yeah. I think that's the end.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a wrap, guys. It's our first episode of Bonfire Tales. Please tune in, follow us, subscribe because the next episode is gonna be lit. Superstitions, and man, do we have a lot of those. to my team, guys. It's been amazing, and it's yet to be amazing. Shout out to Hilltop Tables for sponsoring the first venue of choice. We don't know where we're gonna be next, so you better watch so you can find out. Bye.
Awe.
Awe.
Ayo.